Good morning, dear students. Today I shall continue from Act First, Scene First, line 23 to 58. I think that some students face a lot of problem to understand Act First of the Merchant of Venice. When I started teaching this play to you, I have already explained to you that this is the exposition part of the play in which the dramatist introduces you to some major, some minor characters of the play in this act. So this is the exposition part of the play. But when you have an outline of the theme of the act, scene first, act first, scene first, then it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, listen to me and then try to understand the hidden meaning of Shakespeare's plays. Let us start from act first, scene first, line number 23. This is Slarino's speech. My wind cooling my brood. Wind means breathe. Brood, soup. My wind cooling my brood would blow me to an ague. Ague means fever with a shivering. When I thought what harm a wind too great at sea might do. Slarino says that my wind cooling my brood. He also explained in his own way the meaning of the sadness of Antonio. That's why he says, my wind cooling my brood means the breath which is coming out of my mouth to cool my brood means soup would blow me to an ague. Blow me to an ague means would make me tremble. When you have fever, your body is trembling. In the same way, the wind which is coming out of my mouth, which is coming out of our mouth, created a disturbance in the cup in which we have hot soup. In the same way, what harm a wind to great a sea might do. Slarino says that if the same wind you will see in the ocean, if the wind will be in the form of a storm, it will create a great problem to the mercantile ships that is sailing in the ocean. I should not see the sandy hourglass. Sandy hourglass is an apparatus. Sandy hourglass is an apparatus with the two spheres of a glass joined together with a tiny hole between. Though which sand ran from one sphere to the other in 1 hour. The apparatus was used to indicate time before watches become common. The sight of the sand. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats. Shallows means shallow waters. Flats means sandbank. Means the sight of the sand in the glass would remind one of the dangers from hidden banks of sand at the sea, on which ship may run aground. I should think of shallows and of flats and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand. A common name for a big ship. Docked means run ashore. Okay, and his wealthy Andrew, his big commercial ship run ashore. Okay, wailing her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Means the ship was run aground, means it was upside down. Okay, the head of the ship was stuck in the sand. Should I go to church? Should I go to church? Wailing her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Okay, means wailing her high top, lowering her top of the mast. Okay, means the ship was upside down. The ship was stuck in the sand, which is in the ocean. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone? Should I go to the church? He said that, should I go to the church? When I go to the church, if I should go to the church, I see the holy edifice. Holy means pious, saintly, base, godly. Edifice means building of stone. When he should go to the church, or we should go to the church, we found there a building that is made of stone. That is very holy and pious for us. But the same stone, if we will find in the ocean, that will be dangerous to the ship. If the ship will collide with the same stone which we found in the church, okay, if the same stone we will found in the ocean and the ship will be collided with that stone and not be think me straight of dangerous rocks, and not be think of straight not be me think me straight of dangerous rocks, and that rock does not remind immediately of the dangers that my merchandise ships will face in the ocean, which touching but my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream. A small touch of that stone in the ocean with my ship scattered my merchandise ships in the ocean. In rob means cover the roaring waters with my sail, would scatter all her spices on the stream. And when the ship was broken after the collision with the rock, the spices scattered on the floor of the ocean, and after some time the water of the sea, the roaring waters of the ship will cover with silk. And in a word, but even now worth this and now worth nothing. In short, my ship, which a minute ago meant so much value to me. In short, my ship, which a minute ago meant so much value to me, is now worth nothing, is now good for nothing after the collision with the rock in the sea. Shall I have thought to think on this? Shall I have thought to think on this? And shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chance would make me sad? If I can imagine all this could happen, if I can imagine all this could happen, shall I not also have the imagination to picture the grief which the occurrence of such a disaster would cause me? But tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchant. Antonio, do not tell me the reason behind your sadness. Do not tell me the cause of your sadness. I know that you are a big merchant of Venice. Your merchandise ships are sailing in different parts of the world. That's why you are thinking about your merchandise ships. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. Okay, I know Antonio, you are very sad to think of the possible dangers for your merchandise ships which are sailing in the ocean. Antonio says, believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. I thank my fortune for it. Fortune here dramatic irony is used in the word fortune because fortune has two meanings. The first meaning is luck and the other meaning is wealth. In my introduction speech, I have already explained the word dramatic irony. Once again, I explain here. Dramatic irony may be described as contrast between the two meanings of the same speech. Dramatic irony appears when it is suggested that a character's speech has two meanings. Okay, I thank for my fortune for it. I thank my good luck. I thank my fortune means wealth. My ventures are not in one bottom. Bottom means a ship. Okay, ventures means a business. My ventures means my business. My ventures are not in one bottom but trusted. Okay, nor to one place. My business enterprises are not all risked in one single ship, nor destined to any one place. Okay, Antonio says, my ventures are not in one bottom trusted. My business enterprises are not all risked in one single ship, nor to one place, nor destined to any one place. Nor in my whole state upon the fortune of this present year, nor is my financial position dependent on the business ventures of this year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad. Therefore, Antonio, Slarino, this is not the cause of my sadness. My merchandise ships, which are sailing in different parts of the world, is not the cause of my sadness. Okay, clear? Once again, see this speech of Antonio. Believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. Believe me, Slarino, this is not the cause of my sadness. My merchandise ships are not the cause of my sadness. I thank my fortune for it. I thank my good luck. I thank my wealth. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted. My business enterprises are not all risked in one single ship, nor destined to any one place. Nor is my whole estate, okay, nor my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year, nor is my financial position dependent on the business ventures of this year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad. Therefore, my merchandise ships are not the cause of my sadness. Slarino, why? Then you are in love. Then you are in love. That's why you are looking very sad and dejected. Antonio says, 5-5. Nonsense. It is not the cause. Same. 5-5. Same. Nonsense. Slarino, not in love neither. Here double negative is used for emphasis. In modern English, it should read not in love either. Then let us say you are sad because you are not. Then let me say that you are sad because you are not married. You are not happy. You are not happy. That's why you are very sad. And it were as easy for you to laugh and leave and say you are married. And so it is very easy for you to laugh and leap and jump and say to us that you are very happy, you are very joyful because you are not sad, and tell your friends that you are not sad, you are very happy. Why are you looking very sad and dejected? Now, by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time. Janus, a Roman god of doors, who had two faces, one frowning, the other smiling. One head looking inwards and the other looking out. He is referred to here to indicate that nature creates two different types of men with different outlooks, Antonio is one of them. Some that will ever peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at bagpiper. Bagpiper, one who plays the bagpipe. Okay. And laugh like some that will ever peep from their eyes. Peep from their eyes means ever means always. Some that will ever more peep through their eyes. Peep through their eyes means wrinkle their faces when laugh. Some are very happy. When they are laughing, you can see wrinkles on their faces, so that their eyes appear to be peeping through their folds. When some people are laughing, they are laughing in such a way that you can see wrinkles on their faces, and that's why their eyes appear to us that they are peeping through their eyes. And laugh like parrots at bagpipe. Okay. And laugh even at bagpiper as foolishly as a parrot laughs at any time. And other of such vinegar aspect that they will not sow their teeth in way of smiling. Okay. And that they will not sow their teeth in way of smiling. And some people looks very sad and dejected when their friends will say anything. They enjoyed their friends, but they didn't laugh. Okay. And sour expression is visible on their forehead. Though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. Nestor means an old and wise Greek general who fought in the Trojan War. A joke had to be extremely funny if Nestor laughed at it. Thank you.